That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
Captain Fantastic.
That's Captain Fantastic. That's a good segue.
That's why they pay me the big bucks, my friend.
We're an association.
Welcome to Couch Surfing, the show where magnificent guests look back at their big roles, their little roles, and everything in between. I'm social distancing with George MacKay. George, how are you holding up?
I'm going good, thank you, Lola.
Where are you?
I'm actually on the Isle of Wight.
And is that a bunk bed that I see in the background?
It is. It's me and my sister's old bed.
The bed you slept in when you made this first clip happen. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Oh, wow, yeah. My hair there, that's a mixture of a perm and a wig at the same time, pulled through. When we filmed it in Australia, everyone, we used to go down to the shops and be like, oh, nice hair, mate. And then I got back to school and got teased for it, so I thought I had to cut it off. But it's funny, talking to school, there were three boys from my school, Rupert, who plays Tootles there, and Theo, who played Slightly, that we all went to the same school. And it was, I think, for all of us, our first audition. There was a casting lady, Shaheen Bey, came round the school and got a gang of boys. And she was looking all over, I think, in England and America and Australia. And it wound up that three of us were half the Lost Boys.
All right, let's keep surfing. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right.
We cannot afford revenge. Not now.
Oh, wow.
We cannot afford
like this film, the day that I
friends
turned
like
up, I'd had a car accident in the taxi on the way to the airport, and I turned up with this big swollen lip. And I was so upset because I thought, I'd ruined my job. And they stuck in an advert, they added a line that was, Aaron's been hit by a rifle. And because with the scene we were doing, we were coming back from some sort of raid or something. And and luckily we were filming in continuity for 10 days. So the makeup team did an incredible job at preempting the black eye that would come up and then putting it on and then taking it down as my black eye went down. And I was saved in the end. But Ed Zwick was very kind about it.
All right, let's keep surfing.
I would walk 500 miles and I would
So this bit here, I don't know if you know, this, basically we had a different ending. It was always this song to finish it, but this scene between our characters took place at the hospital where she works in the story, and it was much more low key. And Dexter called us up months after we finished, and he'd been editing the film, and he went, George, right, they want us to do a bigger ending. So we came back and we did this extra ending. This was we actually filmed this months after the rest of the shoot. And I remember I was staying in Edinburgh, and below Arthur's Seat, which is this ginormous hill there, it's like a mountain, kind of being out at the foot of it on the Sunday or something before we shot, going over that little dance routine, which is, 30 seconds, but just out there going over it again and again and again. It was just the most joyous day though. It was so much fun.
This clip arrived right on time in my life. The happiness, the just over the top giddiness and joy in this scene, it's perfect for this moment. So
yeah.
Thank you.
It's good. And I think
and thank Dexter Fletcher, the reigning king of movie musicals now, huh?
I know he's a bit of a master there, isn't he? And Dex is just so wonderful. That is Dexter's energy. He just. I think it's so important to have fun stuff. Is what I think. Often with film, and it's you want to get to the nitty gritty and the heartbreak.
Yeah.
Also, it's just good to have a giggle.
Yeah. All right, stand by for the next clip. You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
What are you thinking?
This was one of the kind of biggest, but sort of first and actually the last TV project I've done at the minute. And it's amazing because with television you work so quickly that I was this is and you're sort of a bit more in and out. Sometimes you have a couple of days off and you come in, and then when you do it, the schedule's so quick that scene was you're building up to the big scene, the big argument scene, and the fight scene and yada yada.
I mean, you deck James Franco, you put a pistol in his face. I mean, you seem like a lover, not a fighter. Did you enjoy being that physical? Because you guys got down and dirty.
It's great. Yeah. It's good. I love those scenes in films, because you're safe. That's why I wouldn't do them in real life.
And you hired a dialect coach and listened to bluegrass music, right? To get that Kentucky accent.
Amazing woman named Miriam, who's still a dear friend of mine, who was really, really helpful for that. But I remember as well, I hopped in the car because we actually filmed in Canada, And then we filmed 1 week in Dallas for all the bits that you can't fake of Texas. And I met Tommy, one of the drivers on the job who picked us up from the airport, and he was this great guy, and he had a cowboy hat on. And then this car pulled out in front of us, and it was massive. Like, only in America would you get a car that big. And I went, man, look at the size of that. And he went, yep, everything's bigger in Texas.
Welcome back to Couchsurfing. I'm still here with George MacKay. George, shall we continue?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay.
For months, you've been lying directly to my face.
It was Mom.
Vigo's such an amazing actor. And Matt Ross.
He's a legend. What did you learn about the craft from him, either directly or through osmosis, just being around him?
I've never seen or worked with anyone who is so... has such a three-dimensional understanding of the whole process. The immersion that came with the way that he worked allowed him to then have an awareness of pretty much every other department. He helped build the set. He brought costumes for us to try. He would come up with ideas, and it was just the most amazing process. And that scene particularly, because we were working so fast, oftentimes we had to sort of be quite economical in the way that we worked. And that argument scene, we actually improvised a lot, kind of back and forth, and it was just such a joy to sort of, in a collaborative sense, kind of go toe to toe with Vigo. Like, it's right. So you're just reacting to what the other person's giving you. And when the person is giving you so much and is so masterful, it just makes your job so much easier and things flow. It's like having a conversation with someone, with one of your best mates.
All right, let's keep surfing.
It was such an amazing process being part of this. It's like,
what made it so special for you?
There could never be a lead element to this. It could never be the concept. It could never be the character. It could never be the sound. It was the most mutual experience. The emotional beats of the scene dictates the length of the set. And the shape of the set had to facilitate what the camera needed to do, which was to help us. And right. The kind of rule was that the camera couldn't move unless it was influenced by you or something that you've seen. So you start to understand that, okay, if I look back and then I drag my right shoulder forward, that will be the momentum that will take the camera around unconsciously. And then to allow the camera to flow around at that point, we then need to plot in a gap in the trench that falls naturally in that spot. And it's almost like, if you imagine almost like a series of circles, and each one's got a doorway going through it, and they're all spinning. And then there's one, it's such a magical happening where they all line up and you see right down all doorways at the same time. It's kind of, that's sort of what the feeling was when you got a take. The way that the flow is so imperceptible, you only notice it when it doesn't work. And it's kind of like so many good things in life, like when things happen when they're meant to, it is a beautiful feeling. And to have a film that literally every shot had to be that to create one big alignment. It's like a babushka doll of mutual collaboration.
All right. Ready to go?
I'm ready. Ready and raring.
Right. Ready and raring. I like it.
After we've torn up the tracks, there shouldn't be more than 20
this one
survive the crash.
They wanted us lean mean. I remember Justin when he sent this email that said to do when I first got the film.
And what was on the list?
I had to work on a cattle station. I had to work with horses. I had to write every day. And then there was a picture of a rock climber, and you could see every muscle in his back. And he was like, that's what I want. And so that's kind of, because, it's as much as, it's not just to sort of look fit, it's changing yourself like that demands a commitment which commits you to the role. But then the aesthetics of Ned is that the truth of, as we're sort of playing with truth in the film as to who and what this man really was, we're playing upon accepted facts or kind of assumptions about the man. And one of which is that he was a sort of symbol of masculinity in Australia in quite a traditional sense. And
I want to talk to you about him because he is a polarizing figure. Where do you land on old Ned Kelly?
To be honest, it's sort of a bit of a politician's answer. History is told by the winners, in inverted commas, right. And they dictate a narrative which becomes accepted. And who's to say that narrative was true in the first place? And also these narratives which become factual, which get put down and held up to be something other than human, something sort of separate. They're the opinions and experiences of people who have lived who are as complex as you and I, who have all the sort of insecurities or passions or wants that you and I might have, which will affect how we see a situation. And so therefore, like, how true can a history be to an extent?
Right.
And that's sort of what this is exploring, you know, without giving a fixed answer, because I don't know if there is a fixed answer.
Well, fantastic work. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I've thoroughly enjoyed speaking with you as well.
Oh,
we're done. Party's over.
There you go. We've surfed, like, the waves ended.
Let me thank you again. You were fantastic. And True History of the Kelly Gang is available on demand and digital right now. See you next week on Couchsurfing. Bye.